What's up guys? So we have another video this week on the Impaktech YouTube channel. So we're going to go in a really in-depth review on the Kawasaki Z125 and all the product offerings we offer here at Impaktech. That's going to include the 12-bar / subcage combo, the rear sets, and our world famous easy pull clutch lever. If you want to purchase any of these products, I highly recommend you watch the entire video because we're going to go over the feature and benefits, why you should have these products, and then also we're going to do a full install on each individual product. The first product I want to talk about, and also I want to emphasize this for the whole video, all of the products we manufacture are going to fit all year Z125s up to 2022. So if you have whatever year Z125 you have, these products will fit. First product is going to be our Impaktech 12-bar / subcage combo. So essentially what this is, it's going to be a subcage that protects your Z125 just like our Impaktech subcages, and it's also going to be a 12-bar. So it's fully made out of billet aluminum, manufactured and engineered here in the United States in our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Riverside, California. It comes with adjustable pegs, and a new product that we are going to begin to offer is these extender plates. So basically what these extender plates are going to be is, if you don't feel comfortable at 12 o'clock, if you can't wheelie straight into 12 o'clock, and we'll show some examples of how far the stock adjustment is, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can buy these little adapter plates for $30, and basically what they do is they go straight onto your 12-bar and extend the scrape angle. So the scrape angle will be a lot more achievable for those that are new to riding or really don't feel comfortable going all the way down yet. So this is a great option as well. So for the 12-bar, we do offer two different colors. We offer this beautiful anodized black, and we also offer the raw option. So the differences between these two is going to be the raw option is going to be for those that want to get this custom powder coated maybe to a specific color to match your bike. For example, here we went ahead and custom powder coated it this beautiful candy blue to match this 2022 Z125, and we also powder coated the pegs white. So if you want to go ahead and do a custom color scheme like this, go ahead and order the raw. If you don't want to do that and you want to stick with simple black, which is what we're going to be installing today on our personal Z125, go ahead and just order the black. So I'm about 200 pounds and this subcage has no problem holding me. No flex, everything seems to be perfectly fine. I'm about 200 pounds and this adjustable subcage / 12-bar combo has no issues being able to hold me. You have that extra grip here on the pegs, our patented design. Okay, so the really neat thing about the Impaktech subcage is all you have to do to adjust the peg is in the back side of this. There's a 6mm Allen key. You're going to go ahead and get that removed, and then you can remove this peg. When removing the peg, there's these little security slots in here that match with these security slots inside, and if I want this peg all the way up here, I can adjust it there. If I want it here, you have all these different variations of adjustability, and honestly it's just going to be for trick preference. If you're a taller rider, shorter rider, heavier rider, if you're trying to accomplish some new tricks that maybe require your feet to be angled at a higher or lower position, this is a great alternative as well. We'll just go ahead and get this screwed in so you can see an example of why we would want it this high. As you can see, if I want it this high, I can have it this high. And again, just fully adjustable. This is going to be the standard setting here. But yeah, very versatile. And one more thing that I really wanted to point out about the 12-bar is, let's say you do get into an accident and one of these components either break or bend, which is very unlikely, but let's just say you loop it and it flips, goes downhill, whatever the case may be. Let's say a peg breaks, or maybe this bracket or 12-bar plate got scratched. The beauty about this is that it's fully rebuildable. You can visit our website, impaktech.com, and get any of these parts replaceable. They will ship out same day. This is a better alternative than, let's say, a solid steel subcage. If you go ahead and get that bent, there's really no way of unbending it, so you're gonna have to go ahead and purchase another one. So yeah, in the long run, the adjustable subcage is gonna save you a lot more money. It's 4 times stronger than a steel subcage. It's fully rebuildable, and personally, look how beautiful that looks. Okay, so the next product we're gonna offer is the Impaktech billet rear set. So the billet rear set is going to be a great alternative to your stock rear set because it's a lot stronger and the peg is not going to be foldable, meaning that when you start learning these wheelies or doing tricks, you're not going to have that annoying feature of the stock rear set where this is actually bending upwards, you know. And then also they are extended, so this actually hits the ground first before any other part of the bike will hit the ground. We'll show you in a bit, but this actually has saved my personal Z125 countless of times. It saved me a couple $100s from having to buy some new fairings. The end piece of the peg is Durlin, so it's replaceable. If you ever do get into a crash or drop this here can be easily replaced and it's not going to damage your beautiful aluminum peg. And just like our 12 bar, these are only going to be available in either raw or black. So these are your only 2 options. We went ahead and got the aluminum raw and we powder coated them blue, once again to match the 12 bar and to match the blue fairings on the Z125. So what I mean exactly when this bike falls, the first thing that you see is going to be the peg touching the ground. So as you can see, the solid peg is not going to bend in like your stock OEM one is, and it's going to protect your bike as well upon an impact. We also just purchased another Z125 just for testing purposes. This one is completely stock, has about 1 mile, but I really wanted to emphasize how crappy these stock rear sets are. So as you can see, there's really no grip. If I fall hard or if I'm trying to move my foot, there's no grip. And then also you get that annoying lift. So if you're trying to do something and for some reason you apply the foot brake too hard, or let's say you have a handbrake and you come up, that can cause you to fall. Versus our Impaktech rear sets where they're solid and they're extremely grippy. And they just feel a lot better. And they're not foldable. They are going to be a stiff design. Okay, so the next product offering we're going to have is going to be our world famous Impaktech Easy Pull clutch levers. These Easy Pull clutch levers are constructed from aircraft grade billet aluminum, and they allow you to pull in your clutch with little to no resistance. If we go over here to the stock clutch lever, you can't really grab it and pull it all the way without it interfering with, let's say, your knuckle, your hand. You can't pull it with one finger. You can't even get it to engage all the way down. You have to use all fingers and go ahead and lose the majority of your grip on the handlebar. This might be a little scary for new riders because the moment the bike comes up, you no longer have a grip on the bar, and that can cause you to get scared. Your hand can fall off versus having your entire hand on the bar and only using one lever to clutch up. We have 2 different sizes on the Easy Pull clutch lever. We have the 4-inch, which we're going to be installing on our bike. This allows me to pull it just one finger. And then we also have our 2-finger. I would only recommend the 2-finger if you have fairly large sized hands, or if you're running, let's say, a rear handbrake. I would run the 2-finger, but the majority of the times for these mini bikes, whether it be the Grum or the Z125, the 4-inch is going to work fine for anybody. So now we're going to go ahead and install the Z125 12 bar / Subcage combo. The tools you'll need for the 12 bar is going to be a ratchet, an extension, a 6mm Allen key, 5mm Allen key, and a 10mm bolt, and some red Loctite. First thing you're going to need to do is grab your key and take off the seat. Okay, get the seat taken off, and believe it or not, we're almost done with the install. That's how easy this is. Next, we're going to grab our wrench with extension and a 10mm socket. We're going to go underneath here and start breaking these bolts. So once we have all 4 of those 10mm bolts removed, we can go ahead and remove this, but now we just have to go ahead and get the electronic pins on the top side of the Z disconnected, and we can remove this entire assembly. So hold this, Frankie. and we'll go up here. So these two connectors are fairly simple. Just go ahead and grab a flathead, bring those out. There is going to be another one over here. So what we did was we just unloosened the fairing with the Phillips, moved this so we had a little bit more space to work with. Okay, so the connector you want to disconnect is going to be wrapped in this plastic here. Just go ahead and take that off. We'll reconnect that later. And that's the one right there. So the disconnector is removed. So now we can just go ahead and pull the cables, get them all rerouted. So now we have your rear fender eliminated. Since we are removing your OEM turn signals, what we're going to do is we're going to order a TST Industries integrated tail light, and that's going to allow us to still have our turn signals integrated into the tail light. So we have that on the way. But for now, we're just going to run the stock OEM one. Let's just go ahead and reconnect the plastics back together. So we no longer need to access the top, so we can put the seat back on. The rest of the install will be done underneath the seat. So snap that into place. Now we're going to go underneath. So now we can install the 12 bar. The same 4 holes where the rear fender was are going to be used to mount the 12 bar. So Frankie, can you go ahead and hold this? We are going to include some stainless steel 5mm bolts. Before you install them, just add a little bit of red Loctite, just a dab, just for some safety. And then we can go ahead and get that installed. We're just going to go ahead and get this lined up and start installing them. So once we have all 5mm bolts installed, the 12 bar is finished, and all you really have to do is just figure out what position you want the pegs in. If you like the OEM position, leave it here. If you don't, grab another 6mm, take this out, and then you can go ahead and just get it readjusted. But yeah, there you go, the 12 bar install, as simple as that. The first side we're going to start on with the rear sets is going to be the brake side. It's going to come with those 2 6mm Allen bolts, and also want to make sure that we have some included grease where the brake lever is going to go. But yeah, just make that little spot check, and yeah, moving on to the install. These 2 bolts are going to be 12mm, and they're going to be the first things that need to be removed. So let's go ahead and do that. Next, we're going to want to remove this spring, so just lift up the rear set very cautiously and get that removed right here. Now, the difficult part is trying to get these 2 cotter pins removed, so just grab a flathead and start prying these out so we can get these removed. Once both cotter pins are removed, we can remove the stock rear set. Please keep the top cotter pin and washer. We are going to reuse this, but the bottom one, you can throw that away. So save the washer, get rid of this, remove that here, and you can either save that or throw it in the trash. Unscrew this bolt. Put the bolt in, Frankie. Okay, so we're just gonna hand tighten this, and before we do anything else, make sure to put that flat washer and that small cotter pin back in here. We got the flat washer and the cotter pin back in there, and now you can grab a 6mm Allen key and get this tightened, and we can go back in here. And with the provided 6mm stainless steel hardware that Impaktech will provide, before installing the rear set with the 6mm Allens, you can go ahead and reinstall the clip. So if you get in there, you can see how that gets installed. You don't want to install it afterwards, or else you can run into the possibility of breaking that spring. And then we'll just get these bolts inserted and torque down. Get these on and then just hand tighten. Make sure these are torqued down. If you want to use a torque wrench, just torque them down to 18 foot-pounds. So once you have it all tightened up, you're pretty much done. you want to make sure that that small spring is reattached. That is going to be your brake light switch. So once you press it, just do a little check. Okay, we are good. Now move on to the other side. Now we are on the clutch side. Again, just go ahead and remove the two 6mm stainless steel hardwares. Grab your 12mm socket, and first we're gonna remove these two bolts here. Second, we want to remove this bolt here. That is a 6mm Allen. So this is a 6mm, and then just have somebody hold a 12 on the other side. And then we can get it removed. This will be a little easier if you did it before you unscrew the two 12s. Just a little trick we found out. So make sure to just keep all the hardware for this assembly as well. So get this removed, get this pushed out, save these washers. Grab the rear set, the 6mm keys we provided, grab the 6mm bolt we provided, and just have it on there tight, but don't torque it down yet. So now grab the shifter, and the shifter is going to be entered through here. Remember, on the back side there is a washer and there is a nut. So we're going to pull this back here, angle it, that washer in the back, and get the nut in here.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, so now we have everything pretty much installed. All we're going to do is get this torqued down, and then also get this torqued down to 18 foot-pounds of torque. And that finalizes the install of the Impaktech 12-bar, Subcage, and the rear sets. If you have any other questions, make sure to just drop them down in the YouTube comments below. Pretty straightforward, but if you do need any further assistance, we also have a dedicated technical support line you can call Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now we're going to move on to the easy pull clutch lever. I'm going to do it on that bike because we actually have some pro taper bars that we're going to be installing. We weren't supposed to be installing them, but we ordered them from Street Bike Supply yesterday, and our guy Mike over at Street Bike Supply shipped them out next day air. So if you do need anything like brake lines or pro taper bars or any other accessories that we don't sell on our website, make sure to check him out. If you're not going to run any sort of aftermarket bars like we are, you're going to keep your stock bars. Something you do need to know is Kawasaki designed this lever in a way where you're not able to remove it without removing this assembly. That means having to remove your accessories, your grips, and your bar. So unfortunately, we are going to have to go ahead and cut the grips, or you can use an air compressor and just kind of blow them out. One other thing is our easy pull clutch levers will work on any bike with a 7/8 inch bar. So it does not come with the mounting bracket for your mirrors, nor does it come with any sort of connections to reinstall your electronic components. But I will show you a little tip and trick on how to get that fixed at the end of the video. Super simple. You need a paper clip and we can get that up and running. So first things first, grab a 10mm socket and remove this bolt here. So we'll remove the stock lever and get this adjuster here unscrewed. Remove this here and you're good. Stock lever, keep it, throw it in the trash. Now we can remove this assembly here, so that's another 10. In a traditional stock clutch, when removing this bolt, it would allow you to unclamp it, but unfortunately with this again, we have to remove the entire assembly. So now, I'm gonna move this a little to the right and grab a Phillips and remove your accessories. There's one here and one down here. Make sure to keep this stock hardware because we will be reusing it. Remove the stock OEM electronic connection. Okay. Now, for us, it's a lot easier since we don't have an air compressor in the shop right now. For us, it's a lot easier since we already have replacement Vortex grips that, again, we bought from Street Bike Supply. We're just gonna go ahead and cut them, but first you wanna remove this end cap. If you are going to still use the OEM bars, please skip to this minute in the video. That's where we'll show you how to reinsert the clutch lever and get that installed. If not, you can kind of follow along and, you know, maybe you're installing the pro tapers as well. Moving over to the right side of the bike, use an 8mm. Once again, save this hardware, we will be using it. Remove your throttle tube. We can go ahead and start removing these 4 bolts. These are going to be 10 millimeter. Just remove these, move out, and you can go ahead and remove your stock bend. We decided to go with the XR50 bend for our personal shop build. If you're not sure what bend you should go with, or if you don't even know if you should use aftermarket handlebars, hit up Mike over at Street Bike Supply. He's super good at figuring out which certain bend of Pro Taper bar you need. Pro Taper has over like 10, 15 different bends, maybe even more. But yeah, he's the one who recommended this bend to us. The rider for this bike is about 5'7", 130 pounds, so this was perfect for him. Now these little clamps do have arrows, so just make sure you follow the arrow when reinstalling them. And don't torque them down, just make sure to get them tightened, because if you want the bars facing forward a little more or backwards, you still have a little bit of wiggle room. What I mean by that is if you want them forward or if you want them backwards. So just hand tighten them for now until we put the rest of the accessories on. So at this point, just go ahead and put all the right side electronics back on, and we will get to you when we are installing the easy pull clutch lever. Okay, so now we're gonna move over to the clip-on once everything has been reinstalled on the right-hand side. First thing we're gonna do is grab our 4mm Allen and just break the clamp. And again, we're using our 4-inch 1-finger shorty lever for this install. We do have a 2-finger 5-inch lever, and it really just comes out of preference. I mean, if you have big hands, or if you are running a setup where you require a longer lever due to a rear handbrake setup or anything, you can use either or. So before installing the lever on the bar, what we want to do is we want to make sure that this stock clutch cable gets inserted into this hole here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that in there, pull it in there, and then get the lever installed just like that. Before we do anything else, make sure the slit on both sides is open. Pull the clutch cable a tad bit, and with this, you're just gonna have to grip it a little bit, okay? Make sure to pull it pretty tight, okay? Grab the clamp. There's 2 nylock nuts in here. What I do is I just grab them both with my hands so they don't fall off. Have both these 4mm stainless steel bolts in. And then while I'm holding the nuts down, I'm just gonna start tightening the top. So it's on. We're not gonna really tighten everything just yet because we still wanna make sure that the clutch cable is fully adjusted and we have it in the correct positioning that we want. But essentially, the clutch cable should be buttery smooth. So right now the clutch cable is a little bit stiff. This should feel like butter, little to no resistance. So if you have this stiff, you are gonna need to adjust this. First things first, I like having this adjustable all the way in. That way the lever has the least amount of leverage possible when pulling it in. So I'm just gonna pull that in, like that. And there we go, smooth as butter. We're gonna go ahead and just reinstall the accessories and the bars, but if for some reason this isn't buttery smooth, like you don't feel, you're like, hey, you know what, it's a lot smoother than the stock clutch lever, but it's just not there, then we can go over here to the motor side and you can adjust the clutch cable from here. You'll loosen up these 2 nuts, and whether you want to pull the cable in or pull it outwards, kind of play around with it until this just feels buttery smooth. You should be able to pull this with little to no resistance at all. So we'll do that at the end to check ours, but for now we're just gonna get the rest of this installed. Okay, so since our Impaktech clutch lever does not have a reconnection for this switch here, there's 2 things you can do. You can grab some wire and just loop that circuit there so you don't have a check engine light, or you can grab a paper clip paper clip or two and just paper clip that in there, and that will reconnect the connection. We're just gonna do a little paper clip trick. I've done it in countless bikes and it's never failed me. So all we gotta do is that. If you don't wanna do it, you don't have to. Nothing's gonna happen.
Not a street bike. On the Cospo, yo.
So before I actually put on the grip and the end of the bar, we're almost done with the install. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the bike on, put it in first gear, and see where my engagement point is and if I have to adjust it or not. Just make sure that you have the front brake, because if this lever isn't adjusted, it's gonna throw you forward. So if I have the front brake, I release it. Perfect. I want it right here. Like that, and if I need to do any more adjustment, I'll do it once the bike's finalized. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Impaktech Easy Pull Clutch Lever. Highly recommend this. We'll do a little B-roll of the entire bike. Let us just put the grip on, and everything's good to go. Any product you saw today is available at Impaktech.com. We offer free shipping on any orders over $99. We also ship worldwide. We can ship anywhere, and all of these products are in stock and can ship out within 1 to 2 business days. So please check us out. Any other questions, all of our information will be linked somewhere in this video. Visit our storefront in Riverside, California, and yeah, enjoy some B-roll of this badass Z125.